Hey Taurus, welcome to the Violet Flora Tarot. We're going to be doing your tarot reading today. We're going to take a look at a few things for you. We're going to take a look at your love energy for singles and for those who are involved, job, money, career, and any hidden blessings that you may not see coming. So let's jump in, my Taurus. Let's start with, let's get Taurus's overall energy right now. What's Taurus's overall energy for the collective? Don't forget, this is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I don't know what it is right now, but in a lot of readings, there's a lot of rigidity coming through for folks. Maybe it's the time of year, maybe there's something astrologically going on, I'm not sure, but let's see. Okay, so it looks like some of you may be really focused on work and trying to move up in your career. I know that this isn't the career section of the reading, but this is getting your overall energy. But the Emperor, sometimes I really see him as being a little too uptight. He's in control, right? And that's respectable. But a lot of times he's a little too uptight, and I think it can lead to a lot of disappointment and a lot of not seeing opportunities to have fun and not really being able to see like the positive around you, right? And with the King of Wands, I like the King of Wands, but in this reading, it's giving me the energy of like being a little like, what's the word? Like a little like touchy, you know, like maybe getting a little like agitated or annoyed easily, or kind of interpreting things that people are telling you or saying to you in a negative way, or becoming defensive. That's the energy that I'm giving. But I think it's because you're trying to meet a goal right now. And it's possible that you may not necessarily be making the progress that you want. It doesn't mean that you're not going to, because the Three of Pentacles, well, the Three of Wands, I just said that, maybe, you know, waiting for the ships to come in, waiting for the success to come in, takes patience. But with the Three of Pentacles, this to me is a success card. It's working together to meet a common goal, but there's like upward movement, right? Sometimes it's a promotion, but I think that there's an element of obsession, and it might be keeping you kind of miserable, you know? Let's get some general overall advice for Taurus. What's some overall advice for Taurus for their highest good right now? We have the Knight of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Ten of Wands with the Knight of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So I think the advice is, if you get an invite somewhere to do something fun from a friend, family, a gathering, right? Think about taking them up on it, right? We all have free will, so you have to do what's right for you. But I think that there's a lot of like burnout and burdens, like a lot of weight on your shoulders right now. And the Wheel of Fortune is telling me that I think that there might be a much needed change happening. Be careful not to be too impulsive, especially if you are a little bit more defensive right now. Try to keep yourself grounded. Have fun in a safe, controlled way, but not too much control. It's like, be careful of that all or nothing, being so rigid and in control, or being, you know, not in control and going overboard and being impulsive, right? There's a nice, beautiful in between there. Okay, let me see. I'm going to switch decks. But first I'm going to sip some water. Okay. I'm going to go with this deck, I think. We're going to do Taurus's love energy, but we're going to start with singles first for my single Taurus. Let's get the energy of single Taurus's love and romance. The Hierophant. Okay. So for the single Taurus, I think, and this might not be for everyone, but this is giving me, we have the Hierophant, the Seven of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Eight of Swords. So what is this telling me? You might have come to a point in your life where you're actually recognizing that you may be ready to settle down and take love seriously. But with the Eight of Swords, you might not necessarily know how to go about it. Or you may be kind of stuck in your head of like, okay, I want to find my person, but I just don't know how I'm going to go about meeting them. Sometimes we get too hung up on trying to control how we're going to do something that we kind of like, you know, talk ourselves into like this negative spiral, you know? So the Hierophant is like, you know, being ready for commitment potentially, right? The Chariot with the Three of Pentacles is giving me ready to take your life to the next level in the love and romance department. Okay, so that's the Taurus single energy. Let's get Taurus singles some love advice. What do the Taurus singles need to know right now for their highest good in terms of love? Some advice. Two of Cups. I love that in a love reading. Five of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles again. And the Eight of Swords again. Okay, and the bottom of the deck is the Three of Swords. I think this is you getting in your own head, feeling like, okay, love is never going to happen for me. How is it going to happen? Five of Pentacles in a love reading, scarcity mindset. I think that the Two of Cups is saying there is potential for love to happen, but you might have to get clear on like who it is who would actually be a good fit for you, right? Sometimes it's actually learning how to identify the person, like identify more of what you're actually looking for instead of, you know, just going out willy-nilly or going on a dating app willy-nilly hoping that you meet the right person. We have to know what we're looking for. You know, we have to know the signs, getting really clear on what our values are, who would be a good fit for us, what are some non-negotiables, you know? Because I think when you get too much in your head with the scarcity mindset, it puts you in the Three of Swords, that heartbreak, that disappointment, that distress, right? And I think that can block us or prevent us from putting ourselves out there. But yeah, the bottom of the deck, the Page of Swords, right? This is validation of doing some inner work and really some assessment on what it is you're actually looking for even before you go out looking, you know? I like that message. All right, I'm gonna switch decks. Let's get the energy of my Taurians who are involved. For the love energy, for the Taurians who are involved. Okay, we have the Eight of Cups, the Empress, the Artist, and the Six of Swords. So this is like, the Eight of Cups is, I think, walking away from something that doesn't work. Now, I'm not necessarily saying walking away from a relationship that's not working. I'm not saying that. Could be. But what I am saying is there could be ways of showing up in a relationship that might not be for the highest good of the relationship itself, or the highest good, or for your own highest good, you know? It could be, I'm getting this energy, because we have the Artist here, and then we have the Magician at the bottom of the deck. This is giving me a vibe of putting everybody else before yourself. And I think that you might be coming to a point where you're walking away from doing that. And with the Eight of Cups can be walking away from something that might be painful or hard to walk away from. So if people are used to you showing up a certain way or playing a certain role in a relationship, it could cause some distress, right? Change can shake up a lot of things. But I think with the Empress card, it's giving yourself like self-love, and it's going to probably potentially change the way you show up in your relationship, right? You know, maybe there's a history of like being a caretaker. You might mean developing better boundaries and, you know, letting other adults be adults. But I think that this is you giving yourself the necessary love. Also, the Empress is glow up energy, right? The Magician is telling me it's like figuring out what you actually need instead of focusing so much on what everybody else needs, you know? And that's not to say don't care about other people, don't help other people out. I'm not saying that at all. But it's saying don't forget about yourself, you know? So that was the energy. It felt like kind of advice too, but let's get the love advice for our Taurians who are involved. 5 of Cups, 3 of Swords, the 6 of Wands, and the Knight of Wands. Bottom of the deck, Knight of Pentacles. I need a sip. Hold on, sorry. Some advice. I think some of you might be working on healing your own stuff. If there's past pains that you still carry from past relationships or past pains from the current relationship, I think that this is an energy of finding a way to heal that heartbreak, heal that disappointment, right? And I think that there's a lot of success, slow success over time with the Knight of Pentacles, but success nonetheless. So don't forget, we can't heal other people. Other people have to work on themselves and work on finding their own ways of healing. But we're responsible for our own healing in whatever way that might look, you know? Let me get like one more advice card. Especially the Knight of Wands is giving me an energy of kind of moving through life and not paying attention to things that have hurt you. So kind of, you know, acting in ways that might be hurtful or being impulsive in relationships and recognizing that those might be from past pains, but sometimes we focus on other things to not face the pain or the things that might be wrong. I think it's finding it within yourself, you know, to heal. Let me get one more advice card. We have the Tower and the 4 of Wands. Okay, and then the bottom of the deck is the 10 of Pentacles. That is beautiful. The 4 of Wands and 10 of Pentacles, beautiful. So what happens when we ignore something? The Tower makes sure that we stop ignoring it. It makes it so, hey, we've been giving you signs over and over and over and over again, and you're not listening. So boom, the Tower comes in, and it makes you have to face things that you have been avoiding, right? Maybe you've been avoiding it with the Knight of Wands. But the 4 of Wands and the 10 of Pentacles with this is also showing the Wheel of Fortune. This is telling me that there's a lot of fulfillment, emotional fulfillment, stability that can come on working on your own stuff. So you can show up better in relationships, right? So you can react better. And so you can just feel better within yourself, right? It doesn't feel good to walk around with past pains. It's very painful. Okay, so that was the love reading for my Taurians. Let's see. I think I'm gonna actually stick with this deck. Let's get the hidden blessings for Taurus that they might not see coming. Let's see. What are the hidden blessings coming through for Taurus, the potential? Okay, we have the 9 of Wands, Ace of Cups. All right, hidden blessings. I think, you know, with the Knight of Wands, there's a lot of self-protection here, right? He's been through it. You know, he knows the deal. But I think that it has potentially made it so you have kept other people away, right? The King of Swords. I think, and the Hermit is here and the Emperor is here. I think that a hidden blessing, is you finding it within yourself to be able to identify real love and not label everything as potential danger within a relationship, right? Like, you know, sometimes we can write someone off and be like, oh, I don't want to get hurt, so I'm just going to be like, no, I'm going to keep them away. I think that this is you learning how to let real love in, and I love that. It's beautiful. Let me get anything else. Hidden blessings coming in for Taurus. Let's get the energy. 7 of Cups. 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, 4 of Cups. I feel like, you know, when we're in self-protection mode, sometimes we have a hard time recognizing good intentions because we can approach something so guarded that we think that everybody has bad intentions, right? Bad intentions, danger. Now, with the 5 of Pentacles, it's coming out of that scarcity mindset. It's coming out of that illusion of not really being able to see people clearly. Now, of course, there are people who aren't the best or aren't the best for us. I think you're gonna be a lot better at identifying who they are, so you don't have to block everyone out in order to protect yourself. You're going to be able to let real love in and feel really grounded and stable doing it. That's beautiful. I love that. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna get you an oracle card. You know what? I'm gonna do the Divine Angel Oracle deck. I like this. I think I pulled this for Aries as well. All right, let's get a Divine Angel Oracle card for my Taurus. Ooh, you got completion. 999. You can keep a look out for repeating number 9s. Release what no longer serves you and prepare to embark on a new chapter filled with opportunities. This reminds me of the message that came through for the hidden blessings that you don't see coming, right? It's releasing what no longer serves you, like being too guarded, too self-protective, and really starting on a new chapter. I love that for you, Taurus. I hope you had fun. If you enjoyed the reading, drop a like, subscribe to my channel, The Violet Flora Tarot. You can check me out on TikTok at The Violet Flora. We do fun mini reads over there. We do zodiac signs, a lot of fun stuff. Check me out. All right, we'll talk soon. Bye.